All right, welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I'm here to talk about Nicholas Negumereanu versus Carlos Ulberg. First fight of the night, and a damn good fight. Perfect test for Carlos Ulberg. Ulberg is 6-1 overall, and he is a great kickboxer. One of the best kickboxers in the division, and he's got a distinct advantage technically over everybody on the feet, but also physically over most fighters. He's 6'4", as opposed to Negumereanu, who's 6 foot flat. So on the feet, Ulberg should look very good. And of course, in the octagon, he's looked very good in just about every fight. He's got a few victories. I don't know his record. I didn't write down either one of their records. But he's coming off a win over Nicolae with a big knockout. Knocked him down with like a jab, kind of, or a hook. A hooky jab or a jabby hook. And I don't want to take away from his knockout victory because he knocked him out in a minute. But Nicolae took that fight 3 or 4 months after getting knocked out with a flying knee in the third round of a brutal fight against Azamat Murzakanov, I think. So that may not have been wise. And again, I'm not trying to take away from his knockout, but I'm saying that may have been a compromised chin, and he's fighting the one guy who definitely doesn't have a compromised chin in Negumereanu. Now, Ulberg, we've seen in other fights, he fought Fabio Cherant. Cherant didn't do a damn thing. Just sat there on the end of Ulberg's, what he hoped would be Ulberg's weakest strikes, and lost a decision. And that is not going to be what Negumereanu does either. He's not going to be a guy that finds himself at the end of a jab for 15 minutes and says, hey, this isn't bad. I'm not going to get knocked out. He's going to go forward. He's going to try to knock your head off, if not rip your ass to the ground and knock your head off there. So, great fight for Carlos Ulberg. Ulberg, of course, the one fight that you could look to that Negumereanu could duplicate was his loss to Nzechukwu. Ulberg's loss to Nzechukwu. Kennedy Nzechukwu marched him down pretty much. He took it. He took his ass kicking, pretty much shelled up like this and moved forward for 7 minutes. And then Ulberg got tired of moving back. Was, like I said, a little tired. Maybe and pinned against the cage, and then Kennedy swarmed on him and just rocked him and then clipped him with a big right hook that sat him on his ass. So Ulberg, between the fatigue, maybe a compromised chin, and also fighting someone like Nzechukwu, who is, when he fights like that, he's almost literally Frankenstein. He's the only guy taller than Ulberg in the division, or one of them anyway. Nzechukwu, I think, is 6'6" or whatever. So crowding him like that, just by fighting like the Frankenstein zombie, I don't think that's in the cards really for Negumereanu, but overall the pressure and the forward movement, which I guess is pressure, but just that relentless pressure is something Negumereanu brings. Of course, he's a very good striker, Negumereanu. He's 13-1 overall, but he's a brawler, and he's definitely going to be outmatched on the feet here. He's a guy who he kind of reduces himself to a brawler sometimes because really his first and foremost discipline is wrestling. He's got a Greco-Roman national championship for Romania, and he is a wrestler. When you watch him fight outside the UFC, it's visible, and inside the UFC, he's had some takedowns and whatever, but he was worked over by Saparbek Safarov, dominated on the ground, and that didn't make him look too strong of a grappler, let's face it, but that's a loss that's a performance that Ulberg is not going to duplicate. Aside from the fence grabs, he might duplicate those, but he probably would be wise to. But yeah, that's not a loss he could duplicate. And Negumereanu, I think, could kind of duplicate Nzechukwu's performance. But really, Negumereanu, again, he's not 6'6", he's 6 foot flat. He's going to need takedowns to win. Even if he doesn't spend a lot of time on the ground with top control, and let's say Ulberg's able to get up easily, he's still going to need takedowns, at least 1, if not 3. I think not only would it slow Ulberg down, possibly fatigue him, make him work with those muscles he's not used to working, even though he's been defending takedowns every day, I'm sure, for years now. But, Negumereanu will fatigue him more, but also it'll throw off his striking, where he's not willing to take as many risks. He's got to watch every strike he throws and every step he takes. And it'll make Negumereanu more comfortable on the feet and able, of course, to strike his way into takedowns as well. So I do think the wrestling battle is where this fight's going to be fought. I do think that'll determine the victor. And Negumereanu, I'm inclined to say, wins the battle. I think he's at a significant disadvantage on the feet, but his chin is there for him, whereas like someone like Tafon Nchukwu's chin wasn't. And Negumereanu, he's a guy who his style is that style where he's looking to pin. It seems like he's designed to fight kickboxers. He's looking to cut off the cage, strike his way in, and take them down. And I do think he's going to find success here against Carlos Ulberg. I don't think Ulberg, despite training at a city kickboxing with the guys that produced Adesanya, and with Adesanya himself training with them, I think he's definitely sharpened all of his skills, and he might come into this fight with a totally different package, and he might look really good defending takedowns, if not getting up from takedowns. But I trust Negumereanu's cardio. Even though he drops his hands occasionally, like the Nzechukwu fight, he was dropping his hands in round 3, which isn't a good look. But that fight had already deteriorated into such a war that it was forgivable. And of course, his chin was there for him anyway. So I trust Negumereanu to get the takedown here. I think if he gets a takedown, he wins this fight one way or another. I'm inclined to say by decision, but I certainly couldn't pick that. I guess I could pick that, but I'm not going to bet on it. Decision is plus 350 for Negumereanu. And even though that's my pick, I don't feel comfortable betting on it, despite the great line there. Because not only do I have to worry about every one of Ulberg's paths to victory there, but Negumereanu himself, I think there's a good chance if he's finding success against Ulberg, whether it's on the feet or on the ground after taking him down, I think he's got a good chance of putting away Ulberg if he forces him to fight an uncomfortable fight. So my pick and my bet is Negumereanu at even money. My heart's not into it. And my prediction, I guess, would be Negumereanu wins a decision. Of course, I could be wrong, and Ulberg could style and profile on him. Could even knock him out in round 1, plus 750, but I'm not picking or betting any of that. I'm going Negumereanu. All right. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit, and check out my other videos.